Welcome to the Pixel Response Podcast.
Well, we're here. This is
We're here.
Episode 166? Is that actually true?
I'm pretty sure. I don't have my notebook near me, but that's that's what I wrote in there, I think.
I can figure that out. I think it is true, actually.
And this is the Pixel Response show, right?
It is, yeah. Where we talk about, I don't know, stuff, I guess. There's been a lot of stuff happening in our lives, so yeah.
My name is Nathan, and Paul is here.
Yeah, that's
does this include the burning barrel numbering, or is this its own thing? Okay.
It's its own thing.
Okay. You have some old notes in here. Do you want to talk about these things still?
Do I have old notes in here?
Yeah.
No. Do I? Oh. Okay, I mean, we should start with this first note of like, hey, it's been about a year. What's been going on? 2 years? Oh, man, maybe?
Has it really?
I could actually tell you in a second. I just bring it up here. I thought it was closer to 2 in like June or something. It's been a while, yeah.
Yeah, there's like 8 shows missing in these notes.
July 16th, 2022 was the last one.
Oh, okay. So we're a couple months shy of a year.
Or a year, basically. Yep.
Yeah. Annual release calendar isn't really good for a podcast. So, hey, we've been doing the Berserk show a little more frequently.
Yeah, like for what it's worth, we kind of put efforts between... I mean, it's kind of the thing we've always wanted to do just in podcasting is like have a common goal to talk about, right? Because sometimes it feels like we meander a little bit otherwise.
Sure, this is kind of more the meander show.
Yeah.
But we have some notes here, and some of them are more focused on, video games. Like 3 of the things I have are video games.
Yeah.
We could also talk about, I guess you have a couple notes about some video games, and then there's an animated show that ran into some strange issues.
Okay.
I had some thoughts about. Are you not seeing the notes you wrote?
I mean, I'm seeing notes, but some of them are like, yeah, you're right. Some of these are a little bit old.
Oh, okay. What is our role as consumers and ethical consumption?
That was specifically about the Justin Roiland stuff had literally just started breaking.
Yeah.
And my whole thing was like, who cares? I kind of don't give a fuck about that dude anyway. Who cares if he's a rapist? And then it turns out he probably wasn't. So, yay for him, I guess.
Well, it's a weird one, but
yeah.
And I was just coming off of like really liking his video game and giving it like third spot on my list or whatever.
Right. It was like a month after the like game of the year talks.
Yeah,
and,
kind
like,
of tripled down. It's just like, man, this guy can't miss. Solar Opposites, Rick
He's
and Morty,
the best.
High on Life. This guy's killing it right now. And then, fired from Warner Brothers. And
nothing will ever take Justin down.
Yeah, so that was such a sticky situation because, I don't know, it made me pretty upset for a little while for kind of selfish reasons of just like, all right, I wrote some people here because I sort of feel like our generation is sort of the first one that has to be accountable for their actions like immediately.
Oh. Okay, I mean, a lot of these names are the generation before us because we were born when some of these people were doing their thing. But they're
it's like, sure. So if you can't find like a Gen X person or something, I understand.
I see what you mean. Our generation should have been in the 90s. Like, hey, what John Lennon was doing was fucked up. Fuck him. Like
people do that now. Like it's just like, oh man, he like hit his wife. He was terrible. But it's like, yeah.
Have you seen Yoko?
Legend,
everybody would hit her, so I don't blame him.
It wasn't even her; it was before her too. But yeah, domestic abusing guy. Like Kevin Spacey got to win a couple Oscars before he was finally booted out. you know.
I feel like nobody knew about that yet, though. Like when that broke, that actually
Once it
caught
came
him
to
on
light,
fire quick.
It was pretty swift, yeah.
Yeah.
But
In fact, his might be the swiftest of all of them. His was instant.
Yeah, I mean, this felt pretty swift too, though. Although it was more that it came to light and then happened, whereas it was like, did Warner Brothers not know or something that there was these accusations because it was like 2 years ago?
Right. Yeah.
But it just made me bitter that it's like, why can't we get like a shitty person we just have and they're just shitty and we accept it and other people don't, and that's fine. Like Polanski's still out there, you know. He's still best director winner, and people hate it.
He can't come back to the States though, right? Like he legally can't be.
He
touched.
would go to jail if he but these are like bad people, but they still got to be like, you know, artists of note or whatever for some time before anything happened. The one that galls me like is a century old or more. But it's like every time Charlie Chaplin is just like, oh man, what a legend. What a great comic talent. And it's just like, yeah.
Didn't you see he had the Hitler mustache, so that's hilarious. It's good stuff.
No, he married like 14-year-olds and stuff. Like that's the stuff that's just like, oh, whatever. It was 100 years ago. Everybody was doing it.
Yeah, but he did The Dictator.
He did. He did.
That was hilarious.
So carte blanche, it's fine.
Yeah. Exactly.
Whereas I guess I was in a position where before it was announced that he was fired or whatever, I was like looking in the mirror and I was like, I'm okay if he is my Roman Polanski or my Charlie Chaplin, where I just don't care that he did this. Like, it's bad, but you all got your fucked up thing.
Oh, we're talking about Roland specifically right now.
Yeah.
So
yes.
So what Roland did, from what I've heard of, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't dig too far into it because I don't care. He was like creepy with a girl or something, right?
Creepy texts. And then there might have even been something like not quite consensual, like locking someone up or something. It sounded bad.
Okay, that sounds really... That I didn't know about this. I thought it was just like... Yeah,
well, Marilyn Manson did it.
Marilyn Manson honestly should have been like in more trouble than he's been. That dude apparently has done some fucked up shit.
There you go. So I thought of some Gen X ones too. It's like Gen X did it too. You guys had dirtbags. I don't know. The Ren and Stimpy guy. You know, these things.
I'm trying to remember his name right now, but yes.
It's John something. It starts with a K. I can't remember.
Yeah. But it's weird because it feels like it wasn't until the 2000s where people started like caring about that stuff. And I feel like it started with Weinstein and then started like as soon as people started coming out with that, and the internet was just like, oh, that's gross. More people are like, oh, you think that's gross? Well, I got fucked when I was 10. Yeah.
Yeah,
exactly.
In the 80s, Kevin Spacey assaulted me at a party. And it's like, what?
And like, yeah. I'm kind of stoked about that. Like, I like that stuff coming to fruition and stuff and coming out. But, like, at the same time, like, you have Bowie here. I still like Bowie's music, and nobody's going to stop me from liking it. So, like, who cares?
I only have Bowie there because I keep seeing that come up on, like, Quora and stuff. It seems like people younger than me are like, dude, he was, like, creeping on teenagers. And it's like, he was, you know, when you're like a sex symbol rock star, things happen. I don't know. Like, I'm not
it's not
too
that
upset
like I'm
with him
condoning
either.
it. It's just that there's a bunch of albums and tracks I fucking love, and I'm still going to love them. Like, sorry.
Yeah, I'm not. I know, but I guess it's just like there's sort of was like this time where that was, you know. We didn't have John Lennon's Twitter. We don't know how shitty he was every day of every week.
John Lennon would have been fucking insufferable on Twitter. Holy shit. He would have been the worst, I'm sure.
But we never had to experience that, so it's easier to polish up the you know, member berries or whatever, like the rose-tinted glasses, and just feel good about it. So I don't know. I just felt like I already like lost Louis C.K.'s, you know, I lost respect for him. over the course of that whole thing.
I'm actually back on the Louis C.K. thing. I heard an interview with him and him just being like, yeah, I fucked up. And, like, I know a bunch of people aren't going to come back, but, like, what am I going to do? Just not work? And stuff?
Yeah.
It's like, no, I get it.
Even when he apologized, I felt it was fairly transparent compared to other stuff, but apparently that wasn't good enough then. I haven't looked into it.
It's gross what he did, but I also don't think it's even that bad. In the grand scheme of the things that have been of the way people have been canceled, I think his is like a 3 out of 10. Like, it's nothing compared to some of the other shit.
Compared to, yeah. And yeah, the jury on Roiland, like, I don't know. It's weird that it never really is going to go to trial. Like, well, so we won't actually know.
He was at like a 2 to 4 out of 10 for me until you said he locked somebody up unconsensually.
That might have happened. I don't know.
Because now he might be like at a 7. I didn't know.
Well, you can't keep prisoners in your basement. I don't care if that's your kink or whatever.
It's kind of fucked up. Yeah. It's kind of fucked up.
But I just felt like that was like a weirdly dark introspection thing for me. Of just like, I guess I am okay with something if I like a show enough. So I felt like guilty or something.
Yeah.
For just being like,
I get it.
Yeah. Like someone's paying for these Polanski movies. Someone's still seeing them, you know? So.
Yeah. I kind of don't believe that there's anything actually. I don't believe ethical consumption is a thing. Mm-hmm. That's why, and even in the notes, I have it in quotation marks. People say that that's a thing, and I don't believe that exists. Just in general, because I think most things are because of the exploitation of somebody else in some way.
Sure. So you have a note here about, like, we can kind of bundle some things together here.
Yeah.
I was going to make a prediction at the Game of the Year thing about, like, the blowback and the weird shit that was going to happen when Hogwarts Legacy came out. Because, like, I was looking at Reddit a lot, and it's like, Reddit is so pissed at this game. When this comes out, people are going to be mad at publications that like it. People are going to be mad at publications that hate it. It's just going to be this weird shit-slinging nonsense.
Yeah, and it was.
Yeah. I don't know what to say other than I could have called it, but I didn't. But it was so obvious that was going to happen.
Yeah, it's been that way with anything Tolkien has done in the last few years because Tolkien's
J.K. Rowling.
You're right.
J.R.R. Tolkien is just a deceased British man. He had nothing to do with any of this.
Well,
maybe he was transphobic. I don't know. It was a long time ago.
I mean, probably because he was obviously super racist, or at least stereotypical. Maybe not racist necessarily.
Yeah,
just the way he based. Listen,
well, it was like paraphrased Britain and stuff, you know.
Right.
But yeah,
it is what it is. It's fine. Like, and also I kind of feel that same way about Harry Potter as somebody who has no stake in it. I haven't even seen a full movie yet of those. I don't care about Harry Potter. I just thought the game kind of looked neat from the little bit I saw.
Oh, okay.
I guess we're talking about Hogwarts Legacy in case it wasn't like clear to anybody.
Yeah, which I don't know. I don't have much stake in it either, other than like we've kind of gravitated away from her whole thing just because of all the stuff she's been saying online for years at this point.
Yeah, she just needs to shut the fuck up. Like, she's absolutely useless. Also, I kind of think Harry Potter is just bigger than her anyways at this point, so whatever.
I'm not, well, yeah. I guess I'm in a weird spot where I cared about that for such a short window of time. Like, I read a couple of the books, saw some of the movies, and then just dropped it immediately. And it wasn't because, like, oh, she said something hateful. It was just like, this is kind of kid shit. I don't care about this. Like, I don't really like this. I don't know why I'm playing around like I do.
I've always kind of felt the same way of just like, yeah, but I'm like 36. Like, I don't care about some 10-year-old, like, waving a stick around.
Like I was getting into my older teens when they were, like, happening. And by the time I finished, like, book 4 or whatever, I was like, yeah, I'm okay. I don't really care about any of these characters, so
I think if I watched those movies, I would be okay with them. Like, I think I would be totally okay with them. I know Aaron likes them, like that sort of thing, And it's been kind of refreshing because I see a lot of people talk online, and I showed her the game and she got super excited. I'm like, oh, right, you don't care about Rowling or like who writes it or what they think because you just like the fucking like Harry Potter. Like you don't care about the person at all, which is like super refreshing because it's like maybe things can stand on their own as a product and you don't have to know who made it or care.
I guess the test for me would be like, how is Rick and Morty going to go beyond Roiland's involvement? Because they're going to keep making them. Can that property transcend its creator and co-star and
or is
whatever?
He like back in it now that he's been kind of acquitted?
I think that ground is burnt. I don't think you can do that. Like just optically, it would still look bad. I'm sure he can still make video games, maybe, but I don't know. Yeah. No. Nah. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't. It's weird because I think the things I like in Rick and Morty feel like it's more of the Dan Harmon stuff anyways, like the writing. And I don't like Justin Roiland's sense of humor, basically, very much at all. So,
sure.
But he is such an integral part of that show that, like...
Well, I mean, he's the titular characters and everything. Like, I'm sure you can get a sound alike. I'm just kind of worried it's going to be like, oh, yeah, the Muppets past Jim Henson kind of weren't as good.
Right,
you know?
Exactly. Yeah,
and it's not like he's dead, but his reputation is dead. So you can't just, like, what am I looking for? Like, some bootleg Rick and Morty that's more real because it's still him or something.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, he's like, I'm going to make my own show, and it's about, it's going back to the original. It's like that Marty McFly clone, and, like, his shitty YouTube stuff is just back. But
yeah.
I don't know.
Like, even the Dan Harmon stuff, like, needed somebody else to... Like, the thing is that both of those guys kind of fucking suck alone. They need, like, another person to bounce ideas off of or, like, maybe rein in a little bit. So them working together
or, like,
worked.
fly off the wall more. Like, yeah, it was an interesting balance. And apparently they kind of weren't on good terms lately either.
Okay.
But that could have been, like, sort of trying to distance from Justin in the wake of all the allegations.
Maybe.
But I don't know.
Dan Harmon has a bad habit of, like, doing something good for a couple years and then fucking sucking big time. So I don't know. If
we're
the
talking
next
about
season,
like later Community kind of stuff.
Later Community is trash. It's absolute fucking garbage.
I finally finished it. It's
I don't remember where it was, but I do remember watching it and being like, "Oh, I think this is where this show's dead now." Like it just felt wrong or something, and I can't remember where it was. Maybe season 3 or 4.
I mean, 4 is when it had different showrunners, and I couldn't watch those.
Yeah.
They were just too different. And then 5 and 6 was like trying to get it back, but it was a little more hit and
the
miss.
damage was done. Yeah.
Oh, it's such a bumpy ride. But and Atomic Heart, dude, those sexy Russian robots. I don't know what else came out of
because
that. I
Russia
never played it.
No, because Russia invaded a country called Ukraine, and
but that was like a year ago. So.
The internet decided that playing that game funded Russian terrorism, so you were a giant piece of shit if you played it. So I played through the game, and it's fine.
Is it kind of like BioShock?
It's like a bad BioShock, yeah.
Oh,
but like,
bad.
Well, because BioShock is like trend-setting, like it's big. It's a big thing, or when it came out at least.
Yeah.
And this feels like maybe a BioShock Infinite or something, just like
or just with the Russian aesthetic. I'm thinking of like Singularity. It's just that.
It is less Singularity, I would say.
Okay.
It's more like a bad BioShock and bad Far Cry kind of smushed together.
Okay.
Yeah. Which in the grand scheme of things is fine still. Like it's one of those. It's okay. Yeah, I don't know.
It's just there's blood on your hands now, Paul, because you played it on Game Pass.
I mean, there's been blood on my hands for a while here because Kevin Spacey's a piece of shit, but I mean, I would probably watch a new season of House of Cards with him.
Oh, I mean, yeah, that show. I gave up on that show before he left, but it still just seems like, well, he was kind of the star of the show. I mean, you can't really have this without.
I will say though, it was weird when like he got finger pointed, and he played his character just being like saying some creepy shit about like maybe somebody's family dying or something. Do you remember?
There was some weird online video or something. I didn't watch
one.
it. But yeah, I heard he kind of did a freestyle like Frank Underwood rant.
Yeah.
So yeah.
His
I guess
apology. Yeah. It was called Let Me Be Frank. Which honestly is hilarious.
Yeah. Kevin Spacey. Anyway. I don't really know. I think all to say, I think it was just something that made me like more angry at older people. Because like you got to do all this shit. You got to support all these shitty people
without any repercussions, and now we have to not only clean up your mess, but we have
those
to,
people
not
are
have
just
fun.
dead and gone. So
Yeah.
They can't even be like penalized in any way. Michael Jackson, let's say, is a more recent-ish one. You know, that probably happens. But
the Michael Jackson thing is like, it's so bad too, because like he probably did do that shit, and it's because like he grew up being molested as well, so like he didn't get any justice either. Like, yeah, it's definitely one of those perpetuating just horrible things that definitely happened that nobody's just coming out with. And the fact that like I get the idea of just like, why is it my generation that has to be so fucking woke and like have to deal with this shit? Why can't I enjoy something? I get it.
You get Hunter S. Thompson just doing his drugs and writing about it, and we can't have anything like on that spectrum. It's just like, no, that guy needs to go to rehab and figure this out.
I just stopped reading online stuff and stopped like caring. The little bit I cared about what people thought, I just don't anymore. Because if people hate you, they hate you. Like, who gives a shit? At least I'll have my Harry Potter game, my wizard game or something.
Yeah, at least I'll have my old racist Tintin comics. I can just read them.
Right, exactly. My blackface Mickey.
I mean, those are things that was like, if this all sounds kind of like, oh, I'm mad about cancel culture. I don't think I am. I'm
not mad about cancel culture at all.
I feel like it kind of had to happen. It's just like we're the ones that like some of our media heroes get to be tarnished like immediately. We don't. Or even the other people
face nothing. Yeah, I get it for sure.
Yeah.
Just cancel all of them. Like, cares? Fucking cancel them all. John Wayne's not allowed here no more. This is a John Wayne free house.
Man, I can't even watch that guy's movies because it's just like, oh, you just see it. Like he's just is an asshole all the time.
He's the white boomer that like everybody wanted to be like and started acting like him.
And he's not especially like talented at acting, so it's more infuriating. It's just like, no, he won Best Actor. It's like, but why? It's like, I don't know. He was tall and we liked him. It's just. Yeah, sorry, I have John Wayne written here. We watched some old westerns, and I didn't fancy them.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to tell me I don't like westerns. It has to be an exceptional western for me to be into it, so I get it. I don't like them.
It's also, it's just, like, for that, it's like, oh, man, we unearthed these old Playboy interviews with John Wayne. Turns out really racist. And it's like, that's a major magazine. Like, that's not nothing. Like, surely people just knew that. But it didn't matter until we discovered it, I guess, 5 decades later and got mad about it. But yeah, we being the collective people under 40, I guess, we're getting older.
Yeah, we're not part of the we anymore, unfortunately. Like,
no,
when you and I talk, we're part of the same we. But like, I work with people that when they say we, I know they don't mean me. They're being nice. I get it.
Sure.
Because they're like, oh yeah, no, we do this and we do that. It's like, you're 23. I'm not part of your we. Like, I get.
Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Thank you, but yeah, no, I go home and play with my cat and go to bed. Like, I don't do the things you do.
Yeah, I guess I could be an old man boomer and just be like, yeah, we play video games. We don't watch other people play them. But that's not true entirely. But it is a little bit. There was something about
watch some people. Yeah.
Millennials play video games more than anybody else, apparently. So that's us.
I believe it, because we're the ones that have to deal with all of life's problems, so we need the escape.
We just need to step into another world and be a Japanese student in high school.
I also think we grew up. We'll get to your segue.
Okay.
I also think we grew up in a weird time where we were kind of segregated and like more alone. Like a lot of the people I'm friends with now, the way we connected was through video games or like horror movies specifically for me, because when I was going to school, if you played video games, people fucking hated you. Like, they didn't want to talk to you. You're garbage because you don't do this other thing that they do.
Well, there's probably still a little bit of that old, like, nerds subcategory of people, right?
But it's not, yes, but it wasn't, like, the intense, like, screaming nerd at somebody and then, like, giving them a wedgie. It was more just, like, ostracizing them and being like, yeah, we don't want him around because he plays video games. He's a disgusting, like, garbage human or something.
I've never had someone say that, but maybe that's what they were saying.
I've definitely overheard people just be like, yeah, there was a solidarity and like, yeah, we play games sort of thing, but like we still kept it hush hush because you didn't want people to you don't want to be that guy at school, which I'm glad, I guess, that stuff has changed for people where they can like happily be like, yeah, I like this new game or something, but also I kind of fucking hate them because I didn't have that. And I think they should have to keep it secret as well. Like, I guess
I still, I don't know what, yeah, I can't speak to what kids are dealing with in terms of video game interests. Like, I definitely see a lot of shit being flung around online about Among Us and Fortnite. Like, those are super casual, but they were also really big. So, I don't know. Like, I can't be mad at anybody for playing those. They seem great in their own way. But I wasn't there when it's happened, so I'm still.
No, but I'm mad that they can go to school and be like talk about Fortnite without people hating on them or something like that. It's just accepted that people play games now because it wasn't fully when I was going to school.
It's like popular athletes play video games and talk about it.
Yeah, and they shouldn't be allowed to, is what I'm saying, because like, yeah.
Okay, so that's your like. Why does our generation get to deal, or why did we have to deal with that and then the kids don't have to deal with that? So it's like a flip.
A little bit.
I was saying. Yeah. Oh, generational changes, schisms, rifts, you know.
And then this whole like boomer idea of like, yeah, well, our generation had to go to war. It's like, motherfucker, like,
no, you didn't.
We live in Canada. If we didn't live in Canada, we would have been drafted for the Afghan war and all that shit. Like, people in our age bracket definitely went to war and are going to war all the time. Yeah. Basically just fuck all that stuff. All right. So we should talk about Persona. Is there a way you can talk about 5 without giving away giant spoilery things?
No. Well, where were you? Where are you in it? I guess.
The beginning, so what, 10 hours in?
Yeah, no, I can speak vaguely because sorry, are you playing Royal Edition?
Yeah, but I'm talking about like just not the end. Like, I don't care about you talking about characters and like links and or that sort of stuff.
Oh yeah, I don't need to talk about the ending. It's more just like, I guess I got back into Persona or Shin Megami via playing the like Persona 5 on Game Pass.
Right.
Been a long time. I think I played 4 in like 2009. That was probably the last time I finished one of these. I tried to ride the high of 5 into 3, like go back to the PS2 days.
Yeah.
I'm probably about 15 hours or something into Persona 3 FES, and it's just, I just don't like the characters as much. I'm not attached to anybody yet, and it's been quite a while. Whereas 5, I felt had like a luxury of like, oh, this character's great, and this character's great. Oh, a new character. This character's also great. Like, I just kind of cared about all of them. So I guess they got better at writing characters.
Yeah.
Whereas where I'm at now, it's just kind of like the social links are a little thin. Like, they're loosely defined. Just kind of like, yeah, I eat soup with this guy. That's all we have, really. and it's kind of charming, but it's not that much. These stories aren't that big. And then the battle system is a little more punishingly harsh for like no reason, because it's just like, I'm just going into this dungeon and fighting things and then pop back out and living the school life. Why am I getting game overs and having to do this all over again? Like 5, that never happened. There was like one fight in 5 that was a bit of a bitch, and I had to go online and be like, what is happening? Why? And it's like, oh, do this. And it's like, okay, great. So like that's vague, I guess. My feelings with 5 are just, I think the Royal Edition might have put in some pacing issues for me.
Okay. Did you play through the original 5?
I didn't play through the original. Brittany had the original and was playing it near us, like near me, and I was seeing chunks of it or whatever, but I never did play the original. Mm-hmm. It's just there's certain lulls in that game that feel like surely this wasn't here before, right? Like there's just kind of a lot of nothing happens at certain periods where it's just like I like that game when it kind of has this illusion of like this huge possibility space. Like, oh, I could go over here and meet this guy, or I can meet this person and something else will happen. Like there's times where it just takes that away, and it's like there's only one thing going on right now, and you just need to hit X for like 10 hours. Right. And then we'll get back to it, Yeah, so I feel that happened like twice over the course of like 120 hours. That's not bad. But it was a little unfortunate, and I kind of wonder if that's a Royal thing. But I don't know. Your mileage may vary. Like you might enjoy those sequences more than I did. But yeah, is it a spoiler to say like kind of when you run out of time? Do you want to know that or?
Yeah, no, okay. I don't care. Yeah.
Like, I was kind of pacing out how I was interacting with the characters and stuff with like, yeah, it's a year. You get a school year. So next April or whatever is when this ends.
No, isn't it like a month or something? It's not a year. It's a few months or something, isn't it?
Well, it's almost a year. It's 8 months, though, essentially. Yeah. It's like Christmas is when that game basically ends. Mm-hmm. Whereas I was kind of like, okay, yeah, I'll finish this person's story and this person's story. And it's like, no, you are now out of time. So it kind of was like, oh, okay. I guess you could just play it again and focus on different social links, but it's so much deja vu at that point because it's like you just watched an anime. Meant
to be played, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean there's things in it that are for that, like there's things you unlock or achievements and things that you can do. Yeah, it'll kind of let you know if you haven't done something maybe, but it would be way too much repetition. It's like watching a TV show twice in a row, like the exact same series. Yeah. So I guess I'll just not do that. I don't know. It kind of left me a little lost, though, because I wanted to play more like this, because I was like, oh, wow, these are great. So that's why I was going back to 3 and stuff, but 3's a little old. You can see it. You can see the bones of it. Like, it's not quite like going back to Kingsfield or something. If you're a big Elden Ring fan, it's not that harsh, but it might be like Demon Souls or something,
Have you ever seen like one Persona, like one?
I think it's on the PlayStation Classic, right? I think I have it that way. Yeah.
I have, and that is like going back to Kingsfield if you're a Souls fan. That is very, very like old and the ways you don't want those games, I don't think.
Like it's like, oh, this is kind of novel. It's like an RPG, but it's set in modern Japan, and you're a student. Like it still has that, but it's not, as fully realized or whatever.
I also think it's like a quarter or like a fraction of the time. I think it's like 20 hours total or something. It's very short, I believe.
Persona 2 is a little weird in that it's like 2 different games. Like there's Innocent Sin and Eternal Punishment, I think. There's 2 different ones. And I want to say only one of them came out here. I don't know.
31 hours. So that's still pretty short, but also the limitations of the console they're on, I'm sure.
It was novel to like bust out the PS2 and like play an old game again, but it was just not as vibrant and pop in the way I wanted it to. So I don't know. It was also, I was following up one giant JRPG with another one. So maybe I just hit my limit or something. Like it still has good things in it, but yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Persona. But what has your experience been so far?
I play a lot of different stuff, so I just go back to it whenever I have a moment, and I kind of don't care if I ever finish it, because anytime I go back to it, I find it's fun. So I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I got pretty sucked into it. It was like a show or something. I was like, oh, I'm in this show. It's about these kids fighting adults.
Sure.
You know, which is novel now because I'm an adult. Like, so it's like, yeah, you're right, kids. Everything sucks later.
Yeah, I mean, I would rather fight adults that I know than kids I know right now, so I get it.
Yeah.
Fight 80-year-olds.
There's something wistful about it, too. It's just like, oh, if only you could just, like, change society by believing and working together.
Well, you can change society by killing the right people.
No, you don't kill them. You change their hearts, Paul. You have to go inside their minds.
I mean, stopping their heart is kind of like changing it.
See, there are characters in that universe that agree with you, so you'll meet them, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, how do you pull the strings? Yeah.
Jokes. I don't want people to go out kill people. Necessarily. Anyways, why do you have Metal Gear Solid here?
Because that's all I've been playing for the past, like, 2 weeks.
Man. Okay.
Yeah. This is 5, The Phantom Pain. I never finished this game. I was one of those people that got really bent out of shape with the Kiefer Sutherland thing.
I'm still bent out of shape about it. I hate it.
I was always kind of at arm's length with it. I think this time I was kind of like, okay, I'm pretty sure there's like a bamboozle going on. And I think there is. I haven't read extensively about it, but...
Do you want spoilers or no?
I mean, it is an 8-year-old game, but
no.
Like maybe just let me speak and don't, you know, if I'm right, just, you know, sure, but don't tell me things I don't know. Like, you're on
a right track currently, so yeah.
Okay. The way that game starts and stuff too, like playing it again with the first time I played it, I got to kind of the first credits, like the skull face is dealt with, and now there's more things. And I was like, all right, like, I don't really know if I care about these things, because I heard Kojima kind of got fired during development. Maybe this was never finished. I don't know that I want to rub the polish off it or whatever. I'll just whatever.
Right.
I think I was also not helped by, I was playing on PS4, and I'm pretty sure the load times were pretty shitty. Like, I wasn't having a great time on that end.
Okay, sure.
Whereas I'm playing on PC now, and just it's fine.
Instant, yeah.
Yeah, I can crank everything up because it's old. But you're not Big Boss, right? You're like an imposter, right?
You are definitely on the right track with this line of thinking.
Okay. I think my hope, like, resuming it and playing it again was like, oh, I see. This was a Kojima-esque, like, shuck and jive kind of thing like he did with 2, where you play as Raiden in that one, and you're like, what? Where's Solid Snake? This one you're playing as Bootleg Snake, hence Sutherland, and who's going to show up in the final act but David Hayter. Apparently that doesn't happen, which bummed me out hearing that. Yeah. It's like, no, it's just Kiefer is also playing the real guy. And it's like, why? That's stupid.
It's funny because you're on the right track, but for the wrong, like, hope.
Oh, okay, great. I just heard something like real Big Boss is in it. And it's like, okay, but why isn't he voiced by, you know, the guy? It's like, I don't know. Like, like, that's where it falls apart. And it's just like, no, Kojima just is a big fan of 24. It's like, well, that sucks. That's stupid.
So it's funny because you talk about how, like, you're irrationally angry about the, like, Kiefer Sutherland thing. I get it, because it made me just be like, oh, maybe Kojima's a fucking giant hack. Maybe he's just a fucking moron who should be making movies instead of bad video games. Because like, it pissed me off so much that he's like, this guy that's been with you and the voice of, like, arguably the thing that made you just throwing him away like that is fucked. You are a fucking piece of shit. So I kind of hate Kojima, honestly.
And I was reading like forum threads and stuff of people kind of bad mouthing the performance. It was like, oh, Hader was a terrible voice actor anyway, and it's just like, but he's the character. Like, I don't care.
He was,
Yeah. Like, that's what Snake sounds like to me. I was buying portable ops and shit just to hear him. It's not. It's whatever. That's not. That doesn't
They're not
dissuade
wrong.
me.
Hader is a bad voice actor, but yes, he is Snake. That's his voice. Like, sorry.
That's what I wanted. That's, So, but hearing there could have been a narrative justification for why it's not him for most of it would have been fine. But then it's like, no, but they don't make good on that either. It's like, So, but at this point, I'm just enjoying the mechanics. I think also I wanted to, like, go back because this was sort of a landmark open world game. It had a lot of cool things in it, and I might as well play that before I play Elden Ring because that's like the new bar. So if I'm going to enjoy this old thing, I might as well finish it. And I do enjoy the mechanics. Like I enjoy managing my base and like my staff and sitting on my iDroid and all that stuff. I've been getting more out of the tapes this time, like just playing them over me traveling places and stuff.
Yep.
So I like get
best way.
So it's like that was where I was critical of like, Sutherland's barely in this game anyway, but it's like, he only did like one line read of like good dog or whatever, but he's talking on these tapes quite a bit. Like he's on there. But I don't know.
Sure. Yeah.
Occasionally though, there's missions that are making me pull my hair out. Like there was this escort mission with these kids that was such a, like I was so pissed yesterday because it was just like it seems they're tethered to where you are. Like if you get more than 30 meters away from you, they just stop caring about what you said and they just start continuing. And it's like, no, I said wait. I was gonna go kill like all these bad guys that are trying to kill you. But they just don't care. And there's one you need to carry around. So, like, they just abandon their friend. And, like, I got to go back and get your friends. Meanwhile, you've walked right up to a guy that I need to kill. Like, what are you kids doing? And then it ended, like, 4 or 5 times with, like, me getting to the end, like, loading them into the helicopter. And they all just, like, fall on the ground near the helicopter. And you need to individually, like, huck them into the helicopter as the Russian gunship is like descending on you. So like I blew up like 3 times and it's just like, what? Fine. I'm just going to fight this helicopter earlier in the level and just blow it out of the sky. So that can happen. And then I got like an S rank, but it was just like at a point, it didn't feel like I was like looking after kids. I was like hauling 5 sacks of groceries into the house and I just had to like get them in the door. And meanwhile, someone's trying to murder me. Like, it's just stressful for no reason. And today I had a boss fight with, like, a bunch of skulls. And what I was doing was apparently garbage. Like, it's like, no, what? Why are you using a rocket launcher? You should use a sniper rifle and this AA gun. It's like, okay. I thought a big explosion would be pretty effective, but the splash damage was killing me more than them. So, I don't know. It's not perfect, but I still am getting something out of it. At this point, it's also making me kind of like entertain the possibility of playing Death Stranding again, but just skipping all the story stuff. Like just every cutscene is just like, nope, this is bullshit. I just want to get back to delivering things.
Yep.
And
I've been thinking the same for that director's cut with it being on PC and stuff. I've been pretty close to pulling that trigger a couple times, honestly.
I'm not clear which version I got on Epic. There was free at one point, and I heard some people got the director's cut, and some people didn't. So I don't know what I got, because I found out about it later.
It should have been the basic one always. Did they just have, like, a mistake or something?
I think they might have been, like, routing to the wrong one at some point, so people got lucky. I don't know if I got lucky or not. I don't know that I did.
Okay. Weird.
That was one where, like we talked about it extensively, but I enjoyed the gameplay loop. Yeah. But it felt like the story was just like so condescendingly like, no, I don't know if you got it, so I'm just gonna run you through it again. And it's like, I was reading the emails, like I know what happened. You don't need to tell me again.
It's because Kojima's a hack. honestly.
That was where I guess I was going with the Kiefer Sutherland thing. Is like, yeah, Death Stranding is just populated with like all these actors for like no reason.
Totally.
Like, it's just like, oh, I got Guillermo, I got Nicholas Winding Refn for some reason, like the girl from the James Bond movies, like Norman Reedus. It's just what? Okay,
I think Conan O'Brien's in there.
Conan O'Brien's in it. Like, it's just, oh, is this what you really wanted to do this whole time? Was just have all this like celebrity cameo garbage? Mads Mikkelsen is, at least it fits somehow. Like,
yeah, that one I'm actually fine with. I'm fine with
like that's good casting. That's fine.
I'm kind of fine with Norman Reedus too. Like, I don't care about who the main character is.
Who's
really
drinking the energy drinks and whatever. Yeah, I guess. But
I'm so irrationally angry about the David Hayter thing. Like, because I think Kojima's games like mechanically are super interesting, but I'm sick of that motherfucker. I'm sick of him.
I felt roped into the gameplay mechanics quite effectively though. Like with you're recruiting all the guys and you want to recruit all the guys, and then they start dying because of the virus and stuff. It's just like, okay, like you got me in on like wanting to manage my base and wanting to have this cool army, and now there's like a thing threatening that. So it made me want to do story missions for a while there. I forgot all about the language thing again. Like, even though I played up to that point and probably could have changed what I was doing and noticed what was happening, I just kind of went, I don't know, I guess the story will tell me later, and didn't account for it. Because I think you can quarantine like the correct people if you get it, but I just didn't. So apparently the story is kind of forgettable, but whatever. Yeah. There was an okay sniper battle with like weird sexy Borg ladies. It was weird. It's just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
They had like weird cyber eyepieces and everything too. Are you
looking forward to Death Stranding 2? Like, are they going to do deliveries again? Because
I don't know.
It kind of doesn't make sense story-wise that they would, right? Really?
There was a lot of stuff in Death Stranding I really didn't enjoy at all. Like any of the stealthy, like, oh no, there's like ghost octopuses around or whatever. It's just like, I don't want to deal with this. I just want to bring this pizza across the landscape to the sky on a mountain. I'm
like,
totally okay doing that,
so that my boxes don't tip or something.
Yeah, this terrain's all bumpy. Like, I was sort of in on that. It was a pretty good podcast game too. But yeah, the action element or like the stealthy element didn't really want that. So yeah, sure, I guess if Death Stranding 2 is just like Crazy Taxi and you're just driving all around delivering stuff, and it's more on that, sure, why not?
I bet
get rid of the heavy-handed. Yeah, I guess so.
I'm sure it's a heavy-handed dumb story shit.
There's more BBs now. You gotta, and they're crying more.
Norman Reedus is like old in it or something, right?
In the new one, I haven't looked at any trailers or anything. I wouldn't be surprised.
Elle Fanning's in it.
Okay. Great.
You're an Elle Fanning fan, right?
No, I don't know. I mean, she did one of the voices in like My Neighbor Totoro, like the dub. So sure, I guess. She was okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good enough.
Speaking of podcast games, the Diablo series, I guess.
Yeah, like arguably one of the best ones for sure. You played a lot of Diablo.
We had an abbreviated conversation about this off air, I guess. But yeah, Diablo 4 is coming out. I was able to play some of the beta, not as much as you.
You played way more than me. I only played
the beta.
Yeah, you played different classes and stuff. I just played a bunch of like one or two.
Oh no, I only played Druid and only did like 8 hours. Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe less then. I thought you played a lot. So okay.
No, I ended up playing a lot of 3 and some of 2, Resurrected or whatever. Kind of chasing the same high, I guess.
Sure.
Because I just feel I didn't get to commit as much time as I wanted to the beta.
Yeah.
It seemed it's hard for me to say because I wasn't like I'm familiar with games like this because I played Torchlight and Torchlight 2. And then I was searching for things in the same vein, but kind of came up short. Like I tried Titan Quest or something, but it was like, oh wow, this interface is terrible. Like this does not scale to a PC. This was a mobile game, wasn't it?
Did you
like,
do Path of Exile?
I've installed it like twice, but I've never started it.
Okay.
Is that Obsidian or?
That is Grinding Gears games?
I'm thinking of Pillars of Eternity also. I think. What is that? Is that similar?
No. That is a CRPG. That is like a Baldur's Gate.
Oh, okay. I had the wrong impression of what that was going to be then. But I haven't played it, so I don't know. But whatever, like the kind of simple clicking, everything dies, you get loot, the loot grind, the loot loop or whatever. It seemed like 3 was too easy. I was just coasting through, killing everything. I eventually raised the difficulty. Before I raised the difficulty, though, it was definitely resulting in like the most anticlimactic stuff ever, where it's like, oh, this demon spider woman is like taunting me as I go down this dungeon, and then when I finally get to fight her, she's dead before she can finish her first sentence of like battle dialogue or whatever. It's just like, well, that was lame. Like, I wish this was a big fight. Whereas 4, I was at least getting game overs and like dying, like hitting checkpoints and stuff.
Like me, you were playing Melee, and Melee's bad in that game.
It was weird, yeah, because the attacks I wanted to be doing as a druid was I'm going to turn into a bear and claw you with my claws, which is essentially a melee attack. But there was definitely a couple fights where it's like, no, this crappy little like area, like this distance spell I have, I just need to use that and like duck around a lot and just avoid this thing and keep shooting. And eventually it'll die because it's just balanced in such a way that what I was doing was not effective. But it at least felt like a final boss was worth it, like, or was better than his like minions or whatever. So I was kind of into that. I think I was using the potions wrong too. I was under the impression it was only dropping like four or 5 potions at a time. And that's all you get, and you have to keep kind of hitting these thresholds in the battles to get new ones. But you were saying there was like another reserve of potions I could have been using?
Well, the potions, I think, just recharged as you like did stuff. Like in Estus that recharged if you were like just hitting things, or maybe not even hitting things, but just like existing, taking damage as well.
I mean, there was some of that, but it didn't seem like you could hoard beyond a limit. Like, it was capped,
Right, it was capped, yes.
So if you enter into a boss battle, it's like you get like 5 heals during this. And if you kill that, like if you get that guy's health bar down, he will drop some.
That's right,
and
yes.
Yeah. That at least felt like an interesting way to make some fights a little more challenging. I found one really infuriating just in terms of like how much area I had to work with. It was like, this is really crowded and there's just so many things on this tiny little square. I can't have a good time doing this. So I was kind of upset.
All those bosses do not lend well to melee either, because they'll be really quick, they hit hard, and then when they're not hitting hard, they just like pooped out a fucking gas of like noxious fumes or like some blood puddle, and then they stand in it and hit you with like attacks that are ranged, and you're like, what am I supposed to do? Am I supposed to run around and not get hit by stuff and not get attacks in, or stand in the thing that's going to damage me and at least maybe try to like get him down enough? It's stupid.
there was a boss fight. The first one I really ran into problems like that was dropping poison clouds, and I basically had to use one of my weakest things because it had range.
Yeah, it's fucking dumb. It's really bad. I hate it.
Yeah. I think I still, going back to 2, I liked how tactile your weapons felt in that one. 3 felt like they made a bunch of weapons and then change the game so you didn't even need to use them. Like, it was just like, oh, I have this dope scythe, and it's like, you will never be swinging that scythe. You are basically just holding it like a good luck charm, and it is boosting your spells. As a necromancer, that's what I was doing.
Right.
Whereas I wanted blades and things to be cutting monsters, because that, I don't know, that's what I want to do. So two seems way more like you are hitting things with your club, you are stabbing things with your sword, you were shooting arrows. Like, it had a little more of that kind of gritty thing going on. So I was liking that. And then it was weird because I was playing that well after I had spent time with 4, but I was like, I think 4 was kind of like this, where it's a little more involved
more
with
like
your
that.
weapons. Yeah.
4 is actually a nice return to form to, like, because the problems you have with 3 are the problems I think everybody has with 3, where the game is, like, fine, but it is too easy. And the reason it's too easy is because they want you to go back with, like, different... You saw, like, the different levels of difficulty. They go up to, like, Hell 14 or something stupid.
Yeah. I mean...
Yeah.
And you unlock more and more difficulties, and there's, like, seasons of things and different currency you start earning after you beat it and whatever.
Yeah, their like, hard mode is basically, like, the normal mode to start off with, and then you want to push harder and harder. So if you played on normal, you were basically playing on easy in that game.
Oh, it was, like... insulting.
Yeah.
It
really
was
bad.
a little much. Because, I mean, it's like, oh, I never played this before. Like, I should set it to easy just to, not have a horrible time. It's like, I think it's because I was coming off 4 where I set it to normal and was dying sometimes. So I was like, okay, this is, this is demanding a little bit.
No, they learned how to balance in 4 that they didn't in 3.
Whereas 3, it was just, no matter what it is, it's just, especially as a necromancer, I just had like a gang of creatures with me.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even need to do anything at some point. It's just like, oh yeah, my skeletons and my, like, wraiths and my golem and everybody, they're just mauling everybody, and I'm just kind of here.
Yep.
So...
It's kind of fun, though.
It was kind of fun, but there was times where, like, I ended a play session because just, like, I think my brain is, like, dying. Like, it's shutting off.
Yeah.
Like, I could just keep rolling, but, like, I'm mostly listening to this podcast, and, like, it was like I was playing a clicker almost. Like, there was no feedback, like, no pushback whatsoever. It was maybe a bit much. I maybe should have dialed it up sooner, but I'm at a weird point where I'm, like, almost done the DLC too. Like, I killed Diablo.
Yeah.
I'm chasing after Mathiel or whatever, like this fallen angel.
Yep.
And I'm, like, partway through dealing with that. So it's just like, I guess I should just finish this and see, like, credits and then crank it, and then maybe I'll have more fun time. But I don't know.
You mean for 3? So the 3
for 3, yeah.
The 3 end game after you get credits is doing the rifts and seeing how fast you can do those on different difficulty levels or seasons. So basically it sucks. Diablo
there's
3
no,
endgame
like,
is bad.
you just start over with the same character, or no?
Well, that's what the seasons kind of are, is that you're playing through it again.
Okay.
Better. Yeah. Yeah.
Deckard Cain's funny. I like his bad voice acting.
Deckard Cain's pretty good. Yep.
Pretty fun.
I don't remember the bosses in 3, whereas I still remember some of them in 2. Like, 3 just seems so...
Like, just a blur in hindsight.
Blur of stuff, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I was playing whatever, like the Eternal Punishment Edition or something, like the PS3, or PS4 rather, like a re-release or something, so maybe it was in a better state than it used to be. I think I did play, like, the free start on PC also, and I really liked how the beam spells felt with the mouse. That was pretty fun. Honestly, a lot of this, though, was just reminding me of, like, one time I rented Gauntlet Legends on GameCube and just played it a bunch. It was kind of like that. It was just mindless horde arcade battle.
Yeah. Sure.
So, but big budget cutscenes and everything, which...
I mean, there's very few in the gaming industry that do it as good as Blizzard. So
I was really impressed by some of the cutscenes in the 4 beta.
It's
It was just
crazy. Yeah.
Dude, look at that guy. Like, I know he's not real, but there's something about this that looks really, really sharp. So good on those people, I guess. It's probably going to do well, right? People love the Diablo.
It's definitely going to sell well. So if they keep it up, yeah, it'll do well, I think.
And this is kind of the post, evil Blizzard era. So.
Well, I mean, going back to what we were saying before, that, I don't know, it's just one of those things that every company does evil shit, and, it's great that it's being called out, but
can we ethically consume Diablo 4? Is it okay?
You can't ethically consume anything.
Dang it.
I yelled at somebody on the road today in road rage, so you can't ethically listen to this podcast knowing that somebody else's feelings, got hurt.
Yeah, you're a criminal today, basically. What did they do?
Yeah. People that drive here are fucking idiots, man. They don't go the right speed to merge onto a thing with cars going very fast where you need to be able to go in.
You gotta stomp it, yeah.
You gotta stomp it.
You gotta stomp it. Stomp that pedal.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. I think I had one last Diablo thought.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of novel that it's launching on console at the same time, right? That didn't happen last time.
Did 3 was after?
Yeah, 3 was well after. They kind of reinvigorated that game by revisiting it and changing it.
You're right. It is novel, actually. That's true.
I remember there's been quality ports all along, right? I think Diablo 1 had a well-regarded PS1 version and stuff. People like these.
People gave that shit a little bit because it was weird. They definitely figured out how to do it with 3, and those have been very good since. But yeah, 1 also had a port that everybody forgot about on PlayStation that was okay, but it wasn't as good as they are now.
I think it's just when I first got Torchlight, I was kind of I played some on XBLA or whatever, that version. I was where's the controller support? I really like it that way. But it's it's a totally different control scheme. It's radial menus and different, the entire interface on PlayStation is all the way different than what I was seeing on PC, the current version of Diablo 3. So it's just totally different. I guess I just thought it was neat that they're broadening the net right away, because I'm probably going to get it on console because I just like that.
Sure.
I'm just a achievement junkie, so I need to get that dopamine somehow, and it doesn't work on BattleNet. That's just does nothing for me. So
I don't think BattleNet has them just at all.
Exactly. Yeah, it's nothing. They should have learned by now that you need a bing or whatever, a little bing, and then a thing pops up and says, "Good job, you did it."
No, there's probably one in-game that unlocks something.
Oh, you're constantly leveling, and
there's a banner,
chimes and whatever happening for sure. But
yeah.
I just need more of that. So, and it looked nice on my Xbox. So whatever,
sure,
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Despite what I said about the load times on Metal Gear, this is a totally different thing. It just doesn't matter.
Yeah, true. Also, crossplay. I hate that we're in 2023 and it's oh yeah, people that play PC can play with people on Xbox. That's kind of cool. It's yeah, it should just always be that way. What do you mean?
So it is. So we can co-op up and everything. It won't not allow that.
Right.
Okay.
Also, apparently, if I
know
to buy 2
this is one of the great blessings that Rocket League and Fortnite bestowed upon gaming, I guess, but
that should have always been there.
That was not common 15 years ago. I remember Shadowrun had it, and it was weird that they had it.
Yeah.
It was whoa, dude, that's crazy. We got to note that in the review that you can do that.
Not only that, but it's your progress is account bound. So if I wanted to buy an Xbox version and a PC version, I could literally stop playing on my PC, go to my Xbox, load it up, and then pick up exactly where I left off earlier.
I know it's not on Battle.net anymore, but I feel that's a thing that kind of hiccuped my Destiny 2 progress, because I put in tons of time on PS4 and then wanted to continue on PC, and I think there's a way, but
they
it
released
wasn't
a thing where you log into your Bungie account, you say like, my version is this version and I want to transfer it to this version, and I think it's only one way.
I think it's a one-way street though, so I couldn't quite commit to that, because I think my friend only has it on PS4. It was dumb. It was like, I kind of just want to be able to juggle around and like log in, and who cares, but apparently
and there's no reason you shouldn't be able to, because you can do it on a bunch of free-to-play things like Warframe. You can do that, I'm pretty sure. Like Fortnite, probably. I don't know actually about Fortnite, but
you gotta be able to get your V-Bucks like everywhere, right?
Well, except for PlayStation, because PlayStation closed themselves off to working with people.
Oh yeah, they kind of like, I'm listening to old podcasts from that kind of era, PS4 era, and they had so much goodwill at that point in time, and it's weird how much of that they've lost.
How much they've
since.
squandered.
Yeah.
Because they don't need to.
So far ahead at a point.
They don't need to pretend that like they care about people, and that sucks.
It was them specifically. There was tons of badgering about Rocket League and stuff too, right? It's like, hey, like Microsoft did it. What are you guys doing? It's like, oh, okay. I
remember them even putting out things like, yeah, at PlayStation, we just want to make sure that you don't play with anybody else. That's like, we want to keep you in our ecosystem. Or
we want to close you off the walled garden. Yeah.
That's bold of you, I guess.
It's like Steve Jobs, you know? That's what we're doing.
I mean, Steve Jobs should have been canceled too. That guy was a giant sack of shit. But
yeah, he washed his feet in toilets and stuff. I mean, come on.
But at least he got cancer and died, so there's some justice there, I guess.
Yeah, all these business heroes you guys had are terrible.
You guys?
You guys out there, you boomers listening, I know you're there.
I definitely think our generation and younger are the ones that love Apple stuff more than the boomers.
The Gen Xers.
Yeah, probably.
Oh, Gen X thinks they're so cool.
They definitely do think they're cooler than millennials. I'll give you that. And they're not. It's a thing. They're just as bad, if not worse.
Speaking of cool boomers, Mel Brooks. What a funny guy. Do you ever hear this guy? You ever see this guy here, Mel Brooks?
No, tell me all about him from the beginning.
All right. So the Sid Caesar show, your show of shows back in the 50s, had a legendary writer's room. Neil Simon actually wrote a play about how funny this writer's room was. One of those writers was this short Jewish man named Mel Brooks, who served in World War II at age 18. I read his biography, so I can really tell you way too many things.
Oh, okay. I was like wondering where the bit was going to stop.
No, I read a huge book about him, and it's all of his tales about all of his movies and stuff. Where it's more fun is I rewatched like Blazing Saddles, Young Frankenstein. I finally watched History of the World Part 1, which has a great bit in it. There's a musical segment about the Spanish Inquisition. It's really, really solid stuff. But it's like 10 minutes out of a 100-minute movie that has some fun, like, weed jokes in it I wasn't expecting. And it's an anthology movie, so it's very, like, slapdash. There's segments that work better than others and whatever.
So what was his last good movie?
Well, how do you feel about...
I have an answer in my head.
Okay.
What I'm seeing what, like, era you say. Basically.
Well, I mean, all of them were great. So Leslie Nielsen's Dead and Loving It. That was pretty good.
Dead and Loving It is the movie I had in my head as the last, like, good one.
I think that's his last, like, movie. So it's fine.
Is it? Okay,
well, it's the last one he directed, I'm pretty sure.
Sure.
And then, like, he adapted The Producers to Broadway, and then someone else made a movie version. But I heard that wasn't amazing because it just, it's not Broadway. Plus, that movie already exists from the 60s, so yeah. But yeah,
Wasn't
like
Nathan
Van Helsing.
Lane? Was that him?
Which one? Sorry?
The Producers. Nathan Lane and Broderick? Was that them?
Nathan Lane and Matthew Broderick were the like killer duo on Broadway, winning Tonys and stuff.
Usually it's just Matthew Broderick that's the killer. So that's...
I know. I did read that story. It's in Italy, right? It was vehicular manslaughter or something, but lo and behold, no real jail time or anything. Yeah.
That was that was a zinger.
That happened a weirdly long time ago, where it's just like, oh no,
it wasn't
like all
that
this
long ago though.
I know, but it's also what I mean is like great movies that you like him in happened after he had already done this.
He should have been canceled. This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like Robert Blake. I know.
That one actually is really bad because everybody knew about it and he literally just got away with it. Like that one pisses me off.
Robert Blake? Like the murderer?
Oh, I mean, yeah, for sure. But no, okay. Matthew Broderick.
No, it was in the newspapers and stuff. It's like, no, a person definitely died and it was his fault. But I mean, cars, right? Like, what are we doing?
I mean,
Vehicles.
Robert Blake will always just be the creepy guy from Lost Highway. So like, it makes sense that he murdered people.
Is like actually evil. It's like, oh no, he was channeling that in that movie. You can tell.
Yeah, no, like that's fine. The fact that Matthew Broderick like got away with murdering somebody, had a career, and was like,
and continued with the kind of like, oh gee shucks, like hey,
fuck him, fuck
it's Nick
him.
Totopoulos. Yeah.
Sorry. Anyways,
you know from Godzilla.
I do. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess if that ethical consumption, right? Like Mel Brooks, why would he tie his legacy to this killer? I don't know, but he did. So that's just how it is.
Legacy.
Yeah. Yeah. It was a fun read. It was just like one I have like weird fondness for is High Anxiety, his like Hitchcock parody. I watched that again. It's not great. But if you like Hitchcock movies, it's got parodies in it for you. I don't know.
Sure.
I think what the read on revisiting all these, like, I think I like Mel Brooks as a writer director. Once he starts entering it as an actor more and more, he shouldn't have done that.
Yes, agreed.
He should have just kept employing Gene Wilder for those, and those all would have been better. But that didn't happen. So apparently one of the Gene Wilder and him co-wrote Young Frankenstein. Gene's rule for that one was like, you can't be in it. You are directing it and helping me write it. You can't be in it.
Good.
Which I'm glad somebody put their foot down a little bit on that. Because whatever, he has a harmless like bit part in Blazing Saddles, but like come to History of the World, he's like the central character. Spaceballs, even we were talking about how Dark Helmet is so great, but then President Scroob kind of comes in and starts hogging spotlight in the latter third of that movie.
Sure.
Which it doesn't need it. So, yeah. But in general, though, I was really enjoying reading about him and then watching the movies that he was talking about, and it was a fun thing. So, All About Me is the name of the biography. If your local library has it or your bookstore, and you like Mel Brooks, it's about Mel Brooks. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm looking something up. When did Charlie and the Chocolate Factory come out?
71, I want to say.
No, that's Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Charlie.
Oh, you're talking about the Johnny Depp movie?
Yeah.
2005?
God, that sucks.
Why?
Gene Wilder was still alive, so he would have been able to see that abortion. That's too bad.
He was definitely still alive.
I
don't know if he would have. Like, it doesn't really seem like something he'd care to do, but who can say? I haven't seen that version either. Not I have.
Wow, really?
Yeah. I don't dislike Johnny Depp or Tim Burton. It just never happened. Like, I just never needed to see it.
Oh, you're going to be one of those people that actually likes it.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I mean, I eventually saw the 70s one, thought it was pretty amazing. Thanks to Gene Wilder, really. But, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you who it isn't thanks to. Grandpa Joe, a.k.a. the actual villain of the movie.
I thought you were going to say Roald Dahl. The secret racist or whatever.
I don't think Roald Dahl liked that movie. Because didn't they take some liberties with it? He hated it. So
which is just like, oh, dude, it's like better than what you did. Like I read his,
likes the new one actually.
His Glass
more.
Elevator sequel, and that thing's nothing. Like,
well, no, he apparently likes the Johnny Depp movie, or at least like his estate does, because it's closer to what he wanted, or something.
That's all right. I mean, I can't speak to it because I haven't seen it, but okay. Yeah.
Man, oh, I like want to like watch it with you to see your reaction, but also I don't want to watch it again, so you're on your own.
I'm assuming it's Bo Welch, like production design all over the place. Like they had to have gotten him for that, right? That just seems like his wheelhouse.
I don't know. Probably.
Okay. Yeah, no, somehow never. I think it was just I was 18 when that came out, so I just didn't feel like I needed to go see it, and then became older. And
how much do you care about Willy Wonka as a human being?
The character?
Yeah, like, do you care about why he's so obsessed with candy?
No, he's so interesting as just this enigmatic weirdo in that original movie. Like, just like, what happened to this guy?
You're gonna fucking hate Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah,
holy shit.
I think I've heard this. Yeah, like you don't open the box, you don't show that. That ruins the mystique. So, yeah. Okay,
man.
It's like, why does Cruella hate dogs? It's like, no one. What? No one.
Can we do like a watch party of it or something? Like, man, that would be so interesting.
I mean, I've sat and watched like Cat in the Hat. Like, I can handle some pretty terrible stuff.
At least that's Mike Myers being Mike Myers, so there's some charm to that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that movie as well, and it's bad in a similar way that this is.
I mean, yeah, that's one where it's like Dr. Seuss's estate said, like, you guys can't do this anymore. Like, you guys have lost your privileges to make live action stuff from this. You can't anymore. So,
like how Square lost Parasite Eve's support.
What?
The author of Parasite Eve liked the first game. Then when they released 2, he's like, this is fucking ridiculous, and then pulled support away from them, which is why the third Parasite Eve game is called Third Birthday and has no like connection at all.
Oh. Has that like prevented those from being re-released or anything, or?
Probably, yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that story. So
if you see those games, maybe pick them up because they probably are never going to exist in any other format. Maybe the first one. I don't know. I just really love when like the creator of something sees an adaptation. They're like, "Oh, what are you doing? No." Take it away.
I mean, Alan Moore is kind of like that too. Like to the point where he just took his name off everything.
Alan Moore's kind of a pretentious douchebag, though. So like, it's hard to tell what of that stuff is like legit or just him being a douche about it. But whatever, it's his work. He can be a douche about it. It's fine.
I'm trying to. Was it League though? It might have been League of Extraordinary Gentlemen that did it, and I can see why. You'd be like, "What are you guys doing? This isn't at all." But
that was really bad. Because didn't V for Vendetta come out after that and it had his name on it?
No. V for Vendetta came out after that and it didn't have his name on it, despite being really good.
Did it not? Did it really not?
Yeah, it has like the artist that he worked with's name on it. I'm pretty sure he did not lend his name to it. I'm pretty sure he still gets paid. Like DC has to slide something his way,
of course.
But I don't know that he wanted to be associated with it after LXG came out.
It is kind of amazing how many things that dude has done if his name is not on it. Which I like. It sounds like it might be a lot. It was his name on From Hell. It would have been around that time.
Yeah, that is around that time. It's hard. It's right mashed up in there. I don't know if I'm pretty sure the deal breaker was League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. So it's whether or not it came out before or after that. I could see it not being on that either. But yeah,
I kind of want to watch that movie again. Was it as bad as I remember?
I don't remember it being
that was
that
Sean
bad.
Connery, right?
Oh, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. Yes, that was Sean
yeah.
Connery. That was like his last big role.
Oh no, From Hell was okay. It was just kind of
I was
boring,
gonna say like it wasn't as good as it should be, but it was okay.
It was fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jack the Ripper.
2003. Okay. Yeah. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, that is. And was his name on The Watchmen?
No, it wasn't. Which, I mean,
that might go either way. I liked The Watchmen, but I know people hate it, so I mean,
where was my giant squid aliens, Paul? Why did they change that?
That is the thing that is like you fucked up at. That's kind of what like the show made good on, though. Did you watch the show?
I heard the show is pretty good. I think I didn't watch it because there was a weird short period of time where Crave, if you were to stream Crave on your PC, it would cap at 720 or something.
Yeah, I think it still does that, though.
So shows looked really shitty, but we have like an app on our smart TV or whatever, so I think it looks fine now. So now I can resume watching HBO shows. But
if you ever find yourself like wanting to watch something, I would take a weekend and watch that. I thought it was pretty good.
Like it's like a mini series kind of, right? It's like 8 episodes
of an hour each or so. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've definitely heard it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, we kind of got sidetracked here.
Yeah, let's get back to some
Brooks.
fun stuff. Kidney disease is ravaging me. It's kind of why.
Man. I didn't know if you were actually going to talk about this, but yeah. Okay.
I mean, there's no fun way to... Yeah, I probably should have sandwiched it in between, and then we could have a fun conversation about...
Like a compliment sandwich, right? 2 good things and then a bad thing.
Yeah, and just a bad thing hidden in there, like, old lettuce or something.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know. It's just... Yeah, the thing coming down the pike for me is dialysis, which is... a way for me to clean crud out of my system again because my kidneys aren't doing a good job of it. There's 2 major ways this could go. One is to have a gigantic machine in our home and stitch some veins and things together so there's like a big fistula or something, like a big fat vein that I can plug into. And then that will clean my blood via robotic powers. I have to sit next to this thing for 4 hours 3 times a week, I think. Or I could just have a tube in the side of my stomach wall and use that as like a turbo filter, which I think I'm probably going to do that.
Okay.
Which the downside is I can never have a bath again, at least until
do you take
a longer
baths?
term. I'm a big baths fan, yeah, because I just
didn't realize that.
And
see, I hate
podcast.
baths, so that's a good thing for me.
No loss at all. Yeah. We've already hooked up our bathtub has like a shower head and everything, so it's fine. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm not able to submerge this wound ever, lest it get infected. But essentially, I'd become some weird Cronenberg character with like a cyborg tube. Okay. And then I put rush fluids through it and filter it out.
What's the maintenance like on something like that?
Maintenance, like how frequent, or
do you have to like go to a doctor to get something done every few months?
So first there'd be a procedure to put the catheter tube in. That they call it a catheter. I thought that was purely for penises, but apparently that's not true.
I think catheters are anything where something is being fed into you, like from a machine, essentially.
Yeah, so this would be just north of my belly button. So a procedure to put that in, that heals up a little bit. Then bi-monthly, I guess, like every 2 weeks, we'd get shipments of like fluid, like a half skid, I want to say, is how big it would be.
Okay.
So we need to figure out where to store that. But it's still less space than this hemo machine would be.
Wow. Okay.
The other way to go would be to do hemodialysis, but I have to go to a center, and I have no control over when that's available. So it would just be like, you're on the 7 a.m. or something. It's like, all right. And then that would just be my life. So I don't want to do that. With the peritoneal, that's what the catheter version is called. There's a way I can also cycle with a little machine next to my bed at night. Would be a way to do it. Hopefully it produces nice white noise and isn't too annoying. But yeah, that would be a way to do it as well. And then I guess there'd just be a sack of not quite urine that I dispose of after. So kind
the
of
stuff that like your kidney would usually get rid of.
Yeah. And with that method, my kidneys actually stay in the game a little longer, like helping out. Whereas if you switch to hemo, the robot just takes over their job and they give up immediately. Apparently, they're just like, "Oh, thank God, we're done," and then they just die. So,
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then long term is transplant fun, which, man, the process of like trying to ask somebody for that is rough. Like it's just no gain to anyone else. Pure
Do they give
gain
you a
for
list
me.
of like people that might be a match or something?
No. You just kind of approach people, and they have to go through the system. And even if they're not a match, there's now, as of 2009, like an exchange program. So they will then match someone else who's on the list, and then we all get surgeries like the same week. Weird, right?
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, well, my blood type doesn't match with this person, but they'll fly their cousin in or whatever. And yeah, that could theoretically happen. But it's just, I don't know. It's been mentally challenging trying to do that. So
it's kind of a dark period. Yeah.
Yeah. The easier way is to just get a dead person's one because, they donated it. But they are in such high demand that it's like a 7-year waiting list.
Really? I didn't realize that.
You could get lucky, maybe 4 years or something, but it's tends to be quite a long time. Because there's always more in demand. I guess in theory, those are also worse. Like they don't last as long because that person died under some circumstance, so that isn't good for the organ. But yeah. Do you still? I guess the airline you handle does not get organs anymore, right? Like that's not a part of your day anymore.
I mean, one of the ones we handle is WestJet, so yeah, we get them every night, or we get kidney meds every night, and sometimes organs, but it's rarer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I've been on kidney meds, but I guess they must be flying them in from somewhere.
Well, we're sending these ones out to other people, I'm guessing, somewhere.
Oh, okay.
Toronto, I guess, but...
So we're the hub where it's all happening. Yeah, I've already been on a medication that's for, like, post-op. It was supposed to help out, but at some point I had a weird allergic reaction. That's why I was in the hospital last year. That was mysterious. Yeah. Oh, man, I guess I haven't talked about MRI machines. You ever had to be inside one?
I have, actually. I'm claustrophobic, so it's actually a waking nightmare being in one.
I don't think I'm claustrophobic, but it's a claustrophobic experience.
It's bad.
I was more stressed out than I thought I would be because it's just like, I had to close my eyes. I had to think calming things. I was only in there for like 10 minutes, but it was still just like, I think it's just how limited my field of view was. I couldn't make sure I was okay or something. I couldn't survey.
Did they target a certain area and then put like the giant metal apron on like other parts and stuff, so like you're pinned down, or was it like a full body thing? Or
I think it was like upper body, like it was more a shoulder area was what they were doing, so there was no special aprons or anything. They did kind of lock my head in place. Yeah, but it's the only experience I've had that reminded me. Have you seen Soylent Green?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember when Edward G. Robinson is in the like death room? Like they play like calming images on the screen.
Oh yeah. Okay, yes, I do.
The ceiling of this place was like this weird palm trees, like underbelly of palm trees, and it's just like this is not comforting. Yeah. this is like a bad room. But
hospitals are the
friendly.
Worst for that shit. I hate that shit so much.
Yeah.
Leave that shit white. Like, we all know we're here, white, sterile feeling. You feel like, okay, I'm in a clean area. Don't Don't try to make me think
have
of
fun
happy
with it.
thoughts in my last moment or something. Like,
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
oh, I must be on summer vacation. Oh wait, I'm inside a noisy culvert. Like, yeah, it's not. It was weird, but yeah, that was. And people keep asking, like, people who knew I had one are like, hey, what happened? What's the results? And it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm assuming they have them, but I haven't met my doctor yet, so no one's phoned me, so I guess I'm probably okay. But yeah,
right.
I don't know. So yeah, I have no update on whether I have nerve damage or not. So yeah.
Oh yeah, about your the shingles or whatever.
Yeah, the post shingles kind of ghostly sensations. Yeah.
That episode is one of our highest listened to still.
Is the shingles episode?
I don't know why. I called it Shingleton as a, like, I don't know, just kind of a fun podcast title. And maybe
like,
that's
were we also
it.
talking about John Singleton movies or something?
I don't know why.
I just watched Boys in the Hood, and then I had shingles.
Hundreds of people are looking up Shingleton every week. So
all right.
I don't know. No, not hundreds. I don't know why people liked that one specifically, but it is consistently the highest performing one of these.
Great. Wow.
And
all
still
right.
is, apparently. I just looked it up again.
I wish I had more, like, edifying sequel content, like, better update on the state of that, but that's all I have right now.
Yeah, some dark days going on there.
A little bit, yeah. I mean,
medically.
Yeah. I'm also watching basketball, but I know I can't bore you with that stuff. It's kind of like sumo, but less awesome, so.
Yeah, it's kind of like sumo. I was going to say but bad, but less awesome is probably more apt for people that like it.
Yeah, like individuals can still shine, but then they're, on a team, so it's weird. It's like the whole Heya had to perform well for the guy to win. That would be strange.
That's fantasy sumo for us.
I guess so.
Yeah. Okay.
And then John Candy movies, but that's what we're doing at the other show.
Yeah, you like John Candy? Are you a fan?
I know we had our Uncle Buck conversation about how that movie's not that great.
Yeah, I don't think we had that on, like, the air.
Okay,
you and me.
yeah. So, secret Uncle Buck is not as good as people say, but he was in some good movies though, and unfortunately Wagons East, which is really bad. We just posted that one. that was not a fun time. But Great Outdoors is next, which I like that movie. I think that movie is what Uncle Buck is to other people.
What was your top John Candy so far?
Oh, we haven't done an episode yet, but Planes, Trains is, like, far and away number one for me. Yeah.
Okay. I was wondering if you had, and I was going to be interested if that made the list, because I think that's the quintessential
that's our
one.
Series finale kind of on
That's the one. Yeah, of course.
That's the best one. Yeah, we're kind of looking for lesser known ones in his catalog and stuff. We just did a fun detective one, Who's Harry Crumb, which is a terrible title, but it's kind of like if he did a Naked Gun movie or something. It's kind of that vein of goofy investigating.
Can he do that type of goofy? Or I guess it's like his version.
He has a brand of goofy that's his, and it works okay.
Like he's not trying to do a Nielsen goofy. He's doing his own goofy.
No, he's doing it's his own character, but it's a pretty fun, like, talking a big game, or like it reminded me of Inspector Gadget. Like, he's kind of not as sharp as his reputation would lead you to believe, but he's kind of rolling with it, and he talks a good game or whatever. So, yeah, Who's Harry Crumb?
Cool.
But yeah, I guess that's all I really had. I think I, like, dating further back, had some books and things I read a while ago, but it's crusty at this point. So Berserk is the current. It's the current
thing. I know at some point we might talk some Resident Evil, but that's down the line at some point.
Yeah, focused on specific stuff, and I have to dip back into some DLC and whatever. For that, I'm so choked that I don't like. I can no longer access your Winter's expansion or whatever because I bought the base game.
That's so dumb.
And then I was like, okay, well, fine. I was looking at the Steam sale, trying to like upgrade or whatever. It would have been cheaper if I had just bought the gold edition like that week.
Oh,
than what I did, where I bought the base game and then just wanted the expansion. It was like, no, that would like double the cost. So it was just like, ow, Capcom, you got me again. So
Man,
I don't
that's
know.
messed up.
Yeah. 7 though, I like that one. I might just play those and then figure something out. But
How much is the Winter's expansion?
I don't know the full price was. I think it was $25 or something when I was looking at it.
Yeah, that seems a bit high. Okay.
Because I was hearing it's okay, but it's kind of short. Like it's not satisfying or something. So
it's short. It is okay. Yeah. It's
I'm
really a
assuming
bummer you can't access it.
You've done a 4 remake discussion already, I guess, or
I mean, if you count me talking about it to nobody, a discussion, then sure. But like, people on TDP don't give a fuck the games I like, really.
What? That's like a big hot game though, isn't it? It's like 93 on Metacritic. You know, people are into it.
I mean,
are people mad at it? I can't tell.
No.
Okay.
No, not from what I've seen. Why?
It seems it's reviewing well, but then there's a certain like crabbiness about like, oh, it lost its heart or something, or it's not as
what it lost
or...
is it lost Ashley's panties, and it pissed off a lot of horny people. Like, actually, that's actually the thing, because Ashley still has a personality, and like they all still have personalities. They're a little more toned back and less annoying, but like the big thing is that you can't no longer like look up her skirt when she's going up a ladder because she's wearing shorts, and that legitimately pissed off some people.
I think it was. Are you familiar with the YouTube channel Crowdcat? Like where he kind of.
I am not.
Okay, he kind of does wordless video essays comparing things. So it'll be like, you know, GTA 4 versus GTA 5, and just show you like little differences. Like, the physics are actually simpler in 5, or like if you shoot a car tire, it looks like this and stuff like that. Or Dead Rising 3 versus Dead Rising 1, and kind of show you what isn't there anymore, kind of stuff.
Right.
I saw he posted one for Resident Evil 4, and I was like, oh, that's usually bad if he made a video. Like he did one for Cyberpunk, you know, or like Back 4 Blood and stuff. It's usually like, oh, this isn't good anymore. So I was curious why he would do that if the game is generally well regarded.
What's the name?
CROWBCAT. It should be like a shitty Max Payne picture as the channel. Yeah. I like his videos in general. They're very like thorough, like breakdowns of things. I sometimes rewatch them. Like it's just like, why didn't Lawbreakers become a big hit? And whatever. I was wary as to why this would earn ire. But I didn't want to spoil it for myself also, because I might play it. But okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know really either, because
it's a big video, right? It's like 37 minutes or something.
It's pretty big, yeah. The thing is that the remake is and was always going to be a more horror take on that game. And it is literally the same parts, but done like, I don't know, darker and scarier. So if it's
is there still a lot of action though?
There is, yeah, there's a lot of that. But if the comparison is like things were more like artistically inspired or something here, it's like, of course, this is a remake of like that original thing that's kind of downplaying the weirdness a little bit, which I could see. I could see that argument. I don't agree with it.
Or it's like, there's like a silly fun that used to be there, and now it's a little more grim or something. I don't know.
Sure, exactly, yeah. Like, Hunnigan, for example, is just in it less because it doesn't make sense that she would randomly call you anytime something happens to talk to you or something.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I could see that breaking up the kind of fun adventure tone, but Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I was getting kind of mixed reads on how, like, I was seeing the kind of weird complaining about, like, oh, they redesigned the female characters, they're less horny now. It's like, wow, it's different people, it's decades later. Like, I don't know. That's not inherently a problem. But yeah.
I think a lot of complaints about 4 and remake are it's like different in tone or whatever, but I like that because the original 4 still exists. Like, I can go back and play that. The original 4
still exists, and it was kind of constantly coming out for quite a while there. It felt like I was always like, it just got re-released again. It just got spiffed up again. Like, I own that game 3 different ways or something. Like, it's just, I don't know. And that's like half of them, if that. There's the Wii
and the Fan HD project came out last year, so that game is in like full high definition crispness that you can install as a mod on PC, and it looks fantastic. Like, you can definitely play both of these in the same way.
Does this change when it's set? Like, is it more modern? Oh, okay.
No,
okay.
All the same.
Okay.
They give the characters like more character also. Like, Luis has more stuff. He's not just like this weird wisecracking guy or whatever.
Like, he's not just kind of Antonio Banderas or whatever. Yeah.
He has like an actual part where he hangs out with Leon for a while as like your partner for a bit, and like Krauser actually has a backstory.
Awesome?
Yeah, the house siege is still bad.
Oh, it was awesome. I love that part. Like,
no, that part's bad.
Oh, it was always great. All right.
That part is still bad. That part still exists in here.
Standout bits, yeah. I guess was it Kruger you said? Yeah, I always felt he was a little underbaked. Okay.
He has character in this, and like they refer to. Well, it's a little bit different because that game came out, and then they made a game later called the Dark Side Chronicles, where they kind of like fleshed out the mission that they went on, like together in Mexico or something, in Colombia.
Oh,
so it was one of those things where, like, in the first game, nobody knew who Krauser was because they threw him in there and they were talking about like they had a history together, and you're just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
I've played all of these. Like, I don't remember you. Yeah.
And then like after that came out a few years later, they were like, well, let's just add in that thing in this like weird rail shooter thing. So this game has the ability to like actually refer to things that happened in that game, and like it makes sense in canon because this came out later. So
okay.
Yeah, just little things like that. Ada sucks though in it, and it sucks that like people harassed the voice actress basically offline off her social medias because they were mad that she sucks, but she sucks in this. That's a bad thing.
Is it the performance or just the way she's written now or something?
Both.
Or?
The performance is bad, but like at the end of the day, there had to be a creative director that said, yeah, that's fine. Like, we'll work with it. It's flat. The voice is wrong. The writing's bad for her. So I don't know.
Does she
it's not
still have
her
like
fault.
a playable section?
No, not currently.
Oh, okay. Didn't that happen?
Yes. That was DLC though for the original, and we're all assuming that's going to be the DLC for this because of this how this game ends. Seems like, oh, this is where Ada's gonna get her part now, probably.
Okay.
Yeah. That game's cool though, the remake. I like the more like gross horror vibe to it and the less action
does
hero
it still have like gnarly Leon deaths in it? Like,
it does, yeah.
And treasure hunting, just a weird amount of fun diamonds and things you're finding.
Different though. There's the shimmer's gone, so it's not looking around the environment and seeing a shimmer. It's kind of like hearing like a creaking. What is it? Like a lantern or something that you can shoot down. Usually has treasure in it, or
because like 8 had those kind of bobbing head things or whatever.
Those are in the here too as like a collectible thing.
Okay.
As well.
Okay.
Yeah, there's stuff to find, but like you can buy the treasure maps and it'll mark like that there's a treasure in this area for you to like look around in. And
it's like, oh, I found this crown, but if I mount these 3 jewels in it, it'll be worth more money.
That's all in here, but it's different where it's not specific jewels that only go in specific items. It's you get different color types of jewels, period, at any point, and you can mix and match them depending on the item.
Oh, okay.
And depending what colors you use and like for example, one of them is like you'll get a bonus if you use 4 of the same color. You'll get a bonus if you use 1 of each color, sort of thing. Like a multiplier bonus for how much it's worth or whatever. So there's different things in there for that sort of thing.
Did they like? Is the shopkeeper guy totally different?
No, he's basically the exact same.
It's way ruder, and
he says
doesn't ask you how you're doing and anything.
No, he says all the things.
What are you? Yeah, okay.
Buy it at a high price. What are you buying?
Oh, yeah. That's
yeah.
Pretty good. Okay. Is that shooting mini game in it with like the little?
Oh fuck yeah, it is. It's so good.
The dynamite. Okay.
Not only that, but that shooting mini game gives you tokens for like completing it, and those tokens you use at like an in-game like gachapon thing in that area, and it gives you trinkets that you can put onto your case, which give you different perks on how you play in the game.
All right. Oh, is it still the slot-based like inventory?
Oh yeah.
Click. Okay.
Yep.
All
that's
right.
all there.
Sounds promising. I guess
it's everything you wanted from 4, like done again. So.
Little emperor guy.
Yeah, you know what? They could have overdone it with him again. Like, he was maybe unfairly chilled out a little bit more than he should have been. Because he was kind of fun how over the top he was, but he's still pretty out there in this. So
okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. That's the Resident Evil 4 remake review. Yeah, that's all. That's all I got. I was going to accept emails on this show.
I mean, we could, but nobody wrote in.
It's been a year, so how would people know, right?
Well, they apparently just write into the other podcast, right?
Oh, yeah. So if you have questions for next year, no.
I had a question for you quickly that is a Diablo thing. Did you never want to play Immortal or get into that?
I thought the verdict was it wasn't good, like the phone game.
No, it's like a bad 3, but I'm just wondering if like in your journeys there you would play it because it's free. So
I'm not a big phone games person, but
it's on BattleNet. Like you can play it on your PC as well. But it's still that game, but with like a PC as a controller.
Okay. Oh,
you don't have to. I was just curious if you did. Really,
I haven't. No,
okay.
It wasn't a numbered Diablo, so I assumed it wasn't up to snuff. But I guess if it is, then it kind of breaks up my thing of like, yeah, it's been like 12 years since the last one. So because that was not that long ago, wasn't it?
I think that was last year or 2 years ago. Time doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
But okay, that's all I got. I mean, it's kind of a shorter show than you'd think, but that's how it is. So thanks for listening. Hours. Yeah, sorry about all the Royland support. I know it's pretty horrible.
No, it's fine.
I just like that show too much to drop it. You know, I couldn't do it. Didn't have the strength.
I thought everybody agreed that he did nothing though. Like, there's nothing to be sorry for with him.
I don't know. It's pretty quick judgment. Like, people got creeped out by that text messages. So,
except for like him apparently holding somebody in the basement. That I didn't know about.
Right, which may or may not have happened. That might be a new rumor we're starting on this show, where it's like, oh yeah, he had a dungeon in his basement, and like he just kept people down.
What if you were the only person that's ever actually said that?
Thought that? I don't know. I swear I picked that up somewhere. Like I thought Reddit told me that, but they're not a great source.
It gets spread from here. It's like you actually start that thing that gets him canceled.
Well, he got fired from Warner Brothers. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no Space Jam 3 for us.
No ethical consumption. Unfortunately.
No. Stop buying those shoes, man. You gotta no. Whatever.
There has to be something you can ethically consume. I just don't know what it is, and it's probably not media related.
Chickpeas? No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh, you mean like media?
You know what's the difference between a garbanzo bean and a chickpea?
What?
Sorry, it's a stupid joke. I wasn't expecting you to actually ask.
I don't know.
The joke is, what's the difference between a garbanzo bean and a chickpea? I've never paid $50 for a garbanzo on my face or something. A garbanzo on my face.
Burn it.
Yeah, no. I thought you like knew the joke or whatever.
I have never heard this joke.
Okay.
So
yeah.
there you go. That's our new slogan.
Oh God. All right. Well, thanks for listening. I hope you got something out of this, and keep listening to Berserk, I guess, because that's going to be the more regular thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's I have gone berserk at Gmail. What's this? Does this have a email?
No, I have gone berserk at gmail.com is fine for now.
Great. And yeah, you might have to listen to a different show in order to hear your answer, but yeah, it's out there.
Yeah,
and then read a manga, but it's really good, but really dark.
At some point, I played through the first of the Berserk video games on Dreamcast.
Oh,
At
wow.
some point,
Okay.
That game is only like 3 hours long. You should check it out.
How much of the tale does it chronicle? Like
it is in between volumes 22 and 23, where you are hanging out with Casca before meeting up with Isidro and Farnese and all that stuff.
Is Casca okay?
No, she isn't.
Oh, okay. Oh wait, so you're guts then. You're just guts.
You're straight up guts.
Assume.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know why I'd assume you create a character and you're hanging out with them.
Oh no. No, you're guts in I think all of the games. Well, maybe
yeah.
The Muso game, you're I think a bunch of different people because that doesn't count, but
okay.
Yeah. You should consider checking that out because there's interesting things storyline wise to talk about. It's unfortunate you have to play the game to get those though.
Is it official? Like Mira contributed?
I think so. Yeah. Mira's name is all over that thing. It's called Sword of the Berserk Guts' Rage.
Great. Okay.
Yeah.
He
like
has a
old
lot of
games.
that.
So
okay.
You might like it.
It's only 3 hours, so I will need assistance from Brittany in order to get that ROM because it was Dreamcast ROMs that I got a virus one time trying to get Blue Stinger or some shit. But, yeah.
Okay, that's hilarious. I could just send you the one I use.
Mackin X, isn't that a game? I was just like, maybe. Oh, here it is. Uh-oh.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah,
no, that's fine.
I can
just
send that
download
to you.
that. Okay.
So
piracy live on air. But anyway, okay. Thanks for joining us. I've gone berserk at gmail.com. And read that. It's pretty good.
It's very good.
It's R-rated though, so keep that in mind. Maybe don't read it in a waiting room. It's a little risky.
Or like at work, maybe.
Yeah, unless you're in a corner. But anyway.
Or like near your significant other. Don't read around people that don't know what's up, maybe. Just in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for joining us. Bye.
Bye.